The championship grind is now well and truly upon us. Round 4 finished yesterday. Round 5 starts today. Here are my predictions. Sheffield United v Blackburn. I saw Sheffield United beat Sunderland yesterday, and that Bramall Lane record is on the verge of ridiculous now. 1 defeat in 17 regular season championship games. For the Blades, a very hard place to go and get a result. Has the Blackburn bubble burst after that defeat at Reading? I don't know, probably way too early to say, but we will find out in the short term on Saturday. I do fancy the Blades on this one on the basis of momentum and home advantage. Home! West Brom v Hull City. Now, the old XG table tells us that West Brom should be loads higher and Hull should be loads lower in the Championship. Well, the real life league table tells us Hull are getting through games much better than West Brom at the moment. I'm sure the Baggies will click, particularly in front of goal at some point, but I do think Hull are decent enough to hold them off for at least one more game. Draw! Preston versus Watford. Preston's unbelievable no goals conceded record goes up against Watford this round. But what of those superb Watford forwards we were cooing over in week 1? Dennis has gone. Sarr not around at Birmingham in midweek. And João Pedro also the subject of hefty transfer speculation. They do have Bayo and Davis. Are they ready to go this round? We will see. Preston, their forwards haven't really been ready to go either. Didn't have their shooting boots on for the last 2 games at Deepdale. Loads of shots, but 2-0 draws. With all of that being said, I think I'm going to back the Hornets to breach that impregnable, so far, Preston defence. Away! Norwich versus Millwall. Norwich got themselves a pressure-relieving first victory of the season against Huddersfield on Tuesday, and they did it without star striker Teemu Pukki. Millwall needed a bit of help from Swansea. 2 own goals secured a draw in Wales very late on for the Lions. And this sense that Millwall are better at home than they are away isn't going away for me yet. My Millwall subscribers have been telling me they never ever get anything at Carrow Road. And who am I to argue with the Millwall fans? Home! Bristol City versus Cardiff City. It's the first 7-side derby of the season. I think it's a Sunday, Ashton Gate, and the timing is decent for Bristol City on the back of their first win of the season over Luton. I like Cardiff, and their start has been good, and here comes the but. It becomes a bit of a shootout against Bristol City at times, and I just feel there's more goal power in that Robins lineup. Home! Reading versus Middlesbrough. Right, come on, let's try and figure these two out then. So Reading, 0 points away from home and a perfect 6 points at home. Middlesbrough, joint top scorers in the division. Most goals conceded in the division. Until Borough properly click, I am a little bit worried about that backline. It's not the individuals, it's obviously the balance between defence and attack that's a bit of an issue for Borough at the moment. I guess I've got to pay some credence to Reading's home form and the fact that Lucas João is back and he can deliver for Reading when he fancies it. Look, I can't split it, I can't figure it, I'm going down the middle. Probably a scoring draw. You have no idea how much it helps me out when you hit that thumbs up button and like the video. Go on then. Thank you. Burnley versus Blackpool. Great result for Blackpool down at QPR in midweek. Starman Bowler delivering, and they're on the road once again at Burnley. The Clarets are having loads of possession and have a high enough XG to have a few more points than they do. I've seen them twice already this season, and I think I've seen enough to convince me it's going to turn at some point. I've been wrong before, but I'm going all in again. Here we go. Home! QPR versus Rotherham. Nice start from Rotherham thus far. Undefeated, 5 points. And I'm guessing the Millers fans would be happy to take that 0-0 away from Deepdale. with the draw at Preston in midweek. QPR, I'm finding a bit confusing. And the problem I've got is that the points they've accumulated thus far could be argued to have come because A, Borough couldn't defend crosses into their box, and B, the keeper bailed them out at Sunderland. I think I know what I'm going to get from Rotherham, and I'm not yet too sure about QPR. I'm not going to go all in on the Millers, but I'm giving them a point in this one. Draw! Swansea versus Luton. Now, looking at the trends for these two, you'd have to be behind Swansea for this one, I think. Decent win at Blackpool, and only a calamitous stoppage time collapse stopped them from defeating Millwall. Luton don't quite look themselves. They're normally very finely calibrated, but they've been punished a few times this season and haven't won yet. Now, what I have learned about Luton and about Nathan Jones is when they're down, they do tend to pop right back up again. So even though the trends are telling me Swansea, I'm actually going to flip it and go the opposite of what that's saying. And we're going to go for the old Nathan Jones away win. Away! Stoke versus Sunderland. I quite enjoyed watching Sunderland yesterday, especially the way they took the game to Sheffield United. And were it not for that red card, I think things might have been a little bit tighter. Not convinced still about Stoke, and it took them a stoppage time equaliser to avoid defeat at the Bet365 against Middlesbrough. What I will say though is I'm starting to like the look of the attacking options at Stoke, but I'm not expecting them to click immediately. I think, being as I like the cut of Sunderland's jib up at Bramall Lane, I'm going to go all in on the Black Cats for this one. Away! Birmingham versus Wigan. Birmingham look quite tidy at home, don't they? Win over Huddersfield, draw against Watford. They would have all taken those 4 points before the start of the season. Wigan have had a midweek off due to Pitchgate over at Coventry. Will they be rested or will they be rusty? We have this conversation a lot on the channel, but normally far later in the season. So let's assume it's too soon for rested to be a thing, and we'll assume that Birmingham are going to be a bit sharper in this one. I'm doing it again. I'll take Blues. Home! Coventry versus Huddersfield. Dum. Another one bites the dust. Postponed! Get involved down there in the comments with your predictions, and everybody, contrary what some people seem to think. I don't want anybody to lose, but you have to remember at least 11 teams in the Championship will not win this round. Look, if I predicted your team to lose and they win, I promise you don't have to contact me afterwards. It's not obligatory at all. In fact, it's such a busy week here on the channel with the midweek round. If you want to get properly caught up, here are the two review shows leading into this weekend's preview. Click here for Sunday's look back at round 3, and click here for this afternoon's look at round 4.